Raider Nation shows me every single day that you don't need to be related by blood to be family. And honestly, if there's one fan base in the NFL that embodies that message, that sticks together through thick and thin, it's y'all. If you're here right now watching this, nodding along and saying, yeah, that's us, then you already get what it means to ride for the silver and black. And I'll tell you right now, the energy around this franchise is shifting. I feel it. You probably feel it. And if Al Davis is watching from above, and I truly believe he is, then he's definitely smiling right now. I'm going to tell you why I believe Al Davis would be proud of what this Raiders organization is building. And not just for this season, but for the years ahead. This isn't just about 2025. This is about 2026. This is about 2027. This is about planting the seeds now to grow something that's sustainable, powerful, and respected. And man, it's been a long time since we could say that about this team with any kind of real confidence. But I'm telling you, it's different now. Now look, I didn't grow up a die-hard Raiders fan. I'll be honest with you. But ever since I started following this team closely, hearing the stories about Al Davis, what he meant to this game, what he meant to this franchise, the more I've come to respect him. There's not many owners in NFL history who had the kind of impact that Al had. He wasn't just a team owner. He was a football visionary. He challenged norms. He broke barriers. He was a true maverick. And when I think about him, I think about someone who stood for something bigger than the game. It's kind of like how I see my grandfather. Someone who just means more. Someone who's always going to have a place in your heart. So when I say Al Davis would be proud of what's happening in Las Vegas right now, I mean that. And I want to hear from you too. If you got a favorite memory of Al, a cool story, something personal, drop it in the comments. Because next week, I want to share some of those on the show. Keep his legacy alive. But now, let's get into the reasons why I believe the future is finally bright for the Raiders. And the first name that comes to mind, Pete Carroll. Yeah, I know, that might catch some people off guard. But hear me out. Pete's influence is everywhere right now. Even though he's not officially the head coach, his fingerprints are all over this Raiders operation. From top to bottom, you can feel his presence. He brings this energy, this passion for competition that's absolutely contagious. And the truth is, the Raiders needed that. I was told recently, and this is fresh info, that Pete Carroll is fired up every single day around this team. The man didn't coach last season. And when you've been doing something for as long as Pete has, something that you're genuinely put on this earth to do, it eats at you when you're away from it. But now that he's back in the mix, even in more of an advisory role, he's back in his element. And when you've got someone like him pushing that mindset, compete, it spreads. I don't care if you're talking about the coaching staff, the trainers, the cafeteria workers, the media team, everyone's feeding off that energy. And it's been a long time since we've seen that kind of unity, that kind of buzz inside the Raiders facility. That's a culture shift. That's what winning organizations have. Another thing about Pete that I absolutely love, he's not afraid of anyone. Look around the AFC West. Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton. These are heavy hitters, future Hall of Famers. To sit at that table, you need someone who demands respect. No shade to Antonio Pierce. No shade to past coaches like Josh McDaniels. Or even John Gruden. But Pete brings a pedigree that commands attention. He's not here to play second fiddle. He's here to elevate everyone around him. And maybe the best part, he's making football fun again for this team. I've been covering this team day in and day out for years. And I can tell you flat out, I haven't seen this locker room this fired up in a long time. The guys are smiling, they're bought in. And you can see it in comments like the one Jacoby Myers made recently. He straight up said, I don't know how Pete's doing it. Maybe he's on something. That man has too much energy. But you can hear the respect in his voice. Because getting a locker room full of grown men, millionaires, NFL players with egos, and again, I mean that respectfully, to all buy in and move in the same direction, that's not easy. But Pete's doing it. Now let's talk about some of the other key names involved in this rebuild. John Spytek and Tom Brady. I can't even count how many times I've said that this team is finally starting to operate like a real smart, modern NFL franchise. And a huge reason for that is because Mark Davis finally took a step back and handed the keys to people who know how to build a winner. Tom Brady is obviously the name that turns heads. 7-time Super Bowl champion, the GOAT. But he's not just a figurehead here. He's involved, he's invested, and Spytek, man, this guy is sharp. Together with Pete's influence, they're building something that feels a lot more like a college program. And I say that as a compliment, because college programs are all about culture. It's about buy-in. It's about guys believing in a system and playing for something bigger than themselves. That's exactly what this Raiders team is becoming. It's a brotherhood. You hear that phrase thrown around a lot, but here it feels real. Guys are echoing the same messages. They're talking about unity, work ethic, and accountability. And that starts at the top. Let's talk front office. This isn't the same old Raiders front office from years past. They brought in serious talent, people with real track records from organizations like the Eagles, the Steelers, the Broncos, and they're putting systems in place that win. You've got former assistants who worked under Howie Roseman, people who've seen how teams like Pittsburgh build and maintain success. They're applying that knowledge here. And then there's the coaching staff. Chip Kelly came in, and I'll be honest, I love this move. One of the most innovative offensive minds out there. Pair him up with someone like Greg Olsen, a seasoned and respected quarterbacks coach, and Patrick Graham, who just got a well-earned raise. Now you've got a coaching brain trust that's legitimate. Add in a guy like Rob Leonard, and suddenly the staff has depth and experience in a way we haven't seen in a while. Look, I was bummed when we didn't land Ben Johnson. I won't lie, but the way this staff came together, I'm honestly happy. Now, because what we've got is a blend of proven winners and fresh energy. Spytek has a Super Bowl. Brady, well, you already know. Pete's got a Super Bowl and a college national title. These are people who don't just talk about winning, they've lived it. And when those kinds of leaders are your example, players notice and they rise to the occasion. Now, let's talk about this year's draft class. Because if you're looking for proof that there's a long-term vision here, just look at what the Raiders did in the draft. Second most total snaps played by rookies this year, over 22,000. That's insane. And out of the 11 players they picked, 9 were team captains. 9. That tells you everything you need to know about what kind of locker room they're building. These aren't just athletes. These are leaders. These are guys who love football, who take the game seriously, who are ready to contribute now, not 2 or 3 years down the line. The Raiders are drafting guys with experience, maturity, and the mentality to come in and compete from day one. And that's exactly what they've done. And it's not just the players. They brought in a ton of college coaches this offseason. And again, that was smart because the NFL is changing. NIL deals, the transfer portal, it's a new landscape. You need coaches who understand how to scout and relate to young players coming out of college. And when you've got guys like Chip Kelly, the former Notre Dame running backs coach, and others who've been in that college grind, it makes that transition smoother for everyone. These coaches speak the same language as the rookies. They've coached them. They've recruited them. They know what makes them tick. That cohesion, that's what helps young talent develop quickly. And if you want those rookies to be impact players from the jump, they need coaches who can get through to them right away. But let's not stop there, because the other major reason this team's future looks so promising is the financial flexibility. They're setting up. As of now, the Raiders are projected to have the second highest salary cap space in 2026, over $111 million. Only the Chargers have more. That's a serious war chest. They've already locked down Max Crosby. They've already got Christian Wilkins under contract. They gave Geno Smith a team-friendly deal. They're not kicking the can down the road like some other franchises. They're clearing out dead money now so they can spend big when it matters. This isn't random. This is a timeline. Compete now. Dominate in 2026. Contend for a Super Bowl in 2027. That's the blueprint. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill never sleeps, and the latest whispers circling around involve none other than Trayvon MOEHRIG. According to sources close to the player, MOEHRIG has allegedly confided that leaving the Raiders is my daily regret. Wow, there's been no official statement from the player or his representatives. This alleged comment has sent shockwaves through fan circles and the league alike, sparking speculation about what might have been and what the future holds for the talented safety MOEHRIG, who left the Las Vegas Raiders after establishing himself as a key component of their defense, has reportedly struggled to find the same connection and impact with his new team. Insiders suggest that the move, which at the time seemed like a step forward for his career, is now weighing heavily on his mind. The phrase "my daily regret" hints at an emotional and professional conflict that is all too familiar to athletes navigating the high-stakes world of professional football. Although MOEHRIG has kept a professional demeanor on the field, some close to him suggest that he has been reflecting more than ever on his time with the Raiders. It was with Las Vegas that MOEHRIG made his name, developing under the defensive scheme and earning the admiration of both fans and analysts. The Raiders organization itself, known for its passionate fan base, has remained silent on these rumors. But many within the NFL community wonder if there could be a reunion in the future. Could MOEHRIG's wistful sentiment hint at a possible return? That remains purely speculative for now. The NFL landscape is unpredictable, and while players often express personal regrets, it doesn't always translate into immediate career moves. Still, MOEHRIG's alleged comment adds an intriguing layer to the narrative, especially as the Raiders continue to rebuild their secondary and as MOEHRIG looks to solidify his legacy elsewhere. For now, all eyes will be on how this story develops. Whether this is merely a private reflection or a sign of deeper unrest, it certainly adds to the growing list of off-season storylines keeping NFL fans on edge. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.